Morning pain and stiffness is one of the most common complaints if you have golfer's elbow or tennis elbow. Here's why, and here's 2 techniques to help it. Tendons are a tissue of our body that doesn't get a lot of blood flow. The blood flow it does get is heavily reliant on muscle contraction and movement. So when you're sleeping, you're not having movement, your muscles aren't contracting, so you're not getting much blood flow to an already irritated tendon. That causes the tendon to become very stiff and almost gel-like. So when you wake up in the morning, that tendon doesn't have very much pliability. So it's not going to respond very well when a muscle pulls on it. So you wake up in the morning, you move, the muscle pulls on the tendon. That's why it hurts. That's why it feels stiff. So one way that we can help this while we're rehabbing it and building that tendon structure back up is by these 2 techniques. Instead of jumping into a stretch like this or like this that you oftentimes see online, that stretch can actually cause too much irritation. It's too heavy of a pull at once. So we want to slowly do a progressive lengthening of the tendon and muscle tissue rather than jumping into an intense stretch like that. So a good progressive wrist stretch is what we call it for tennis elbow, is we start first by lengthening the elbow joint. So we're just doing a slide with the knuckles curled. You want to do each one of these for anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute before you progress. Our second progression for tennis elbow is now going into a very light wrist roll. We're just rolling over the first part of the knuckles, nice and light and easy. Our third progression is now rolling over the knuckles, but we're not pushing a stretch heavily yet. Our fourth progression is now to go into a full stretch and get that full lengthened position. Try to touch the wrist to the bottom of the mat. You're going to do about a 3 to a 5 second hold, slightly extend the elbow, and then come back. Our progressive wrist stretch is for golfer's elbow. We're going to start with our body leaned over and our hand on a surface just slightly below the waist. And we're just going from a slightly bent elbow position to an extended elbow position by the movement of our body. 30 seconds to a minute. Our second progression is just this light gliding in a rotational movement. Use a towel underneath your hand if you're having too much friction. Our third progression is we're going to start with the hand backwards so the fingers are pointed behind me, and now I'm moving my body again to get a full elbow extension, but I'm not pushing this stretch very hard. And all I'm doing is rocking back and forth with those fingers there. Our fourth progression is we're combining rotation and going into a full elbow stretch. So I'm rotating as far as I can get it to go. I'm leaning all the way back without letting my hand come up off the mat. And I'm going to hold this for 3 to 5 seconds and fill the stretch, ease off, rotation, and repeat. Stretching is primarily for contractile or muscle tissue. So when we're trying to get a tendon that's very stiff lengthened, the best way is with an isometric contraction. To support our progressive wrist stretches to lengthen the other tissues, now we want to isolate on just the tendon. For tennis elbow, the best way to do that is by cocking the wrist back with the fingers curled, elbow bent to 90 degrees. You're going to apply self-pressure at your knuckle going in a downward angle, and you want to push this until you feel your pain at about a 1 to a 2 out of 10. So mild pain. Now you're going to hold it until you feel this pain slowly decrease, and you're just going to slowly extend your elbow. You don't want your pain to spike a lot here. So if you feel your pain increasing, which it oftentimes will, then back off the pressure of your opposite hand a little bit, and you're just doing a slow 5 Mississippi back and forth, easing the pressure of this hand based on the pain response. Basically, you're making it so your pain is always at a 1 to 2 out of 10. And our isometric load for golfer's elbow, similar position. This time we're going palm up, fingers curled, wrist curled, elbow at 90. We're going to apply our isometric force with our opposite hand at the knuckles in this position. And same thing, we're going pressure till we feel about a 1 to a 2 out of 10 in pain. Keep that pressure, slowly extend the elbow, backing off the pressure if the pain spikes more than a 2 out of 10, and going back and forth. We want to do this isometric hold typically for 3 sets of 40 seconds each.